Some areas are seeing some storms where you've been pretty dry in Denver, but as we monitor our HD Doppler radar, you can see we have those stronger, more widespread storms, mostly south of I-70, but some of that moisture is starting to lift its way northward, and we're even getting some storms brewing near Fort Collins. Now, let's go ahead and start where we do have the severe thunderstorm warning. This is going to be near Ordway, and it's going to be just east of Pueblo, where this is actually where it started, and it had severe thunderstorm warnings there. Those were allowed to be lifted for a little bit, and then they're back on now until 5:45. So with these severe thunderstorm warnings in this area, what we're really going to be watching for will be half-dollar size hail and winds gusting up to 60 miles per hour. So the hail and those winds could be damaging to things like your roofs and your vehicles. So you want to continue to watch for this shower. It's also going to have some heavy downpours and, of course, lots of lightning and thunder. Now we zoom out a bit to the southern half of Colorado. This is where those storms first approached from the south. You can see a couple of areas getting some light thunder showers. One that was just over Colorado Springs that's starting to die out a bit. You can see one south of Pueblo, one over Saguache, and then one just north of Durango. Now we'll move northward a bit to look at this storm that's really growing over Fort Collins, pushing its way through areas like Wellington and into Pierce. That's going to continue to grow a bit as well. Where we're seeing these darker colors is likely where we're getting some hail falling, as well as heavy downpours, lots of lightning and thunder, and of course winds. Now we'll move over to the high country where we have a rainstorm that's pushed its way over Frisco. You could also see one just north of Aspen and one near Kremling. Not a whole lot of lightning there, but we're going to continue to watch for these scattered showers to spurn some isolated storms, especially in areas where we do have a marginal and slight risk for severe weather. This being category 1 and then this being a 2. This is where we're expecting the strongest storms across the southeastern corner of the state, and also some strong storms across southern portions of the I-25 corridor into northern portions of the eastern plains. You'll notice Denver, Fort Collins, other areas of the high country just under general thunderstorm risk, but we do have the possibility for a couple of those storms to become stronger, like the one we're monitoring right now over Fort Collins. Now, as we take a look at our future cast, we go through the rest of the evening where the majority of the stronger storms will still fall across the eastern plains, but then that moves out later tonight. So around by 8-9 o'clock, most of us will be pretty dry and clear. Through the overnight hours, we're going to watch for some storm activity to kind of linger through the Nebraska Panhandle area around early tomorrow morning. And then by tomorrow afternoon, most of us are dry and getting some midday sunshine. Now, with that sunshine, we're going to stay mostly in the middle to upper 70s. Very seasonal for this time of year, but we're also going to watch for another round of these scattered showers and isolated storms, mostly again across the eastern half of the Front Range into the eastern plains by tomorrow evening, where we could see some of those storms become stronger. Where the strongest storms will be in this yellow area again. This is going to be a slight risk for severe weather. That's all of the eastern plains and then into eastern portions of the Front Range. A very thin area of marginal risk that does include Denver and most of the I-25 corridor, and then a general thunderstorm risk there. So this is Friday, and then again Saturday, we're still looking for the same placements for our strongest storms. So we're going to continue to watch for those afternoon and evening storm chances the next few days. In the meantime, today we saw those temperatures in the upper 70s in Denver, most of the Front Range and eastern plains in the middle to upper 70s, lower 80s, those 60s and 70s out west. Right now at DIA, we're dry, but we're cooling down, 75 degrees there, winds coming in from the east at around 16 miles per hour. Overnight tonight, most of us seeing lows in the 40s and 50s. Tomorrow, temperatures will be a lot like what we saw today, but over the next few days, temperatures really begin to climb. We're in the middle 80s for our Saturday. We're in the 90s as we start next week.